So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so you're familiar with the sign in process. So basically, I'm gonna sign in as you, so you can see exactly uh, your account when you sign in.
What's the website? I'm not sure. The
Oh,
last
this is
time I
the
signed into this was probably on a different computer, and I don't
gotcha.
have that
So you
anymore.
can go to so basically mentors and students. It's all the same link. So you could go to mentors, volunteers, registration, login,
Gotcha.
and then brings you to the that site, right? If I go
Perfect.
back and I go to students, same thing. Everyone goes to the same place.
Cool.
Okay. Let me go back to this one. So I have your login information. I'm just
Okay.
gonna sign in.
Yeah, I don't even know my login information
Uh,
anymore.
I can uh, I can give you that.
You can text it to me.
Yes, I can. Um, so this is what a normal mentor would see, and even if a student signs in, they see something a little bit different because they're a student.
Okay.
But once you sign in, this is the default page. But since you were given the admin access, you can access it by going to the right hand side on the top, and then
Okay.
it says switch to sub admin full permissions. So once you click that, a lot more options show up on the left. So basically, you can start searching for students and mentors.
Okay.
So we'll just start with students here. Search student records, and the initial screen that pops up is like the default. And the way it's set up is it will default to the current year. And once you hit search, the current year's, I guess, whoever signed up for the program will show up. So right now, I know you guys uh, hit pause for this year. So there were 3 students that actually signed up.
Yeah, I think I communicated with all of them.
Right. So here, let's just go through the first process about active and inactive. So right now, we want to make sure these students are marked inactive because there was no program year, and we don't
Okay.
want to pay for insurance for them.
Gotcha.
So the easiest way to do it is to there's 2 ways, but if you want to do it a bulk method, uh, when there's an entire list, you can just click on the folks that you know that you want to either mark active or inactive, and go here and just hit inactive
Okay.
and apply. So now they're all marked inactive. You see here, program status. The other option is to actually go into their profile, and you can mark their status in the second box here. Okay. Um, the other, I guess, important thing is if I search students, is parent consent form. So you have 3 students here, and they had actually you have all 3 different scenarios here. So this student here did it right, and you got the parent consent form. This student here, look at it, pending parent. So what that means is the student completed their part of the consent form, and then right after the student completes their part, the parent's part is emailed to whichever parent email is in the profile. And
Okay.
so right now, because it's pending parent, I guess the parent either forgot to do their portion when they got the email, or the email was in spam. So you can either resend it using this link, or the other option a lot of affiliates use is actually click on this link to the consent form, copy that link, and email it to the parent directly in case it was like a
Cool.
spam thing. Okay.
Yep.
So, so if I go back to so not received, so this means the student didn't even complete their portion of the consent form, and thus the parent hasn't received the second half of what they need to do.
Gotcha.
So so you got all three here, so that's good. That way you can see what's happening here. So that's like kind of default, and then the whole thing about active inactive, and then the way you do kind of searches. There's multiple methods, but up here you have basically the main filtering system. So right now, again, it defaults to the current year, but if I click on this, you can include multiple years. So I can include the year prior. Maybe I want to go back 3 years and search the student. So when you hit search, it includes all the students from the past 3 years.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, you can filter it here, and like if you wanted to find out something really quickly and just wanted to see, you can filter a lot of things here, like, oh, which are there a senior or freshman? I just want to search a particular high school, or if you guys do teams, there's an option here, and then also if they had a parent consent form or not. But the way I usually do it is I'll search the years that I want, and then there's a feature on here that you can export out as a Excel file.
Nice.
So if I hit export, then you give all these options. So basically all the filtering options, and you just click the information that you want, and then it'll spit out a Excel file. So like program status, I usually do parents email, primary email, maybe where they're at, the high school, and a bunch of other things, right? So you can go through this and find exactly what you want and then export it out. So you got this document here, and I'll open that
Cool.
document. So it spits it out in what's called a CSV file,
Hmm.
and you might have to clean it up a little bit. Usually, what I do is like obviously spread this out so you can see everything,
Right.
and I'll usually do this with the header, and then I immediately save it as a Excel file, because when you keep it as a CSV, it doesn't keep the what I just did. Like I spread everything out so you can see everything. So it only saves it when you save it back down to a Excel file.
Cool.
And then I'm sure you know like how to do the sorting, just in case,
Yep.
like if you sort A
Yep. I
through
can do all
Z.
that.
Yep. So now you can see like, oh, which high schools and all that.
Yeah, an easier way is to select all the data and create a table,
Oh, okay.
and then you can then filter and sort.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
So that's that. And let me go back one more thing. So another thing that we added recently was how this like quick search shows up. So there's a way now where you can customize your columns. So basically, what you see immediately when you do the search.
Nice.
So if you wanted to see like things that are these other ones that aren't checked, you have the ability to customize your columns so you can quickly see what you need to see without having to export out. And
Very nice.
I believe it saves it after you do it once, is what I was told. Um, so that's that. And then so mentor side, very similar. If I go to mentors, you're it's the same filtering. Obviously slightly different because they're mentors, but same thing here. If I search, oh, summer program. There's also summer programs. But if I do a search, here's this. So the different thing with mentors is the background checks, right? So we talked about background checks a little bit. You have one that's been done, and you see it says eligible, right? and there's ones that are not applicable. So not everyone needs a background check. So people that are on the board that don't have access to the database information, so it's pretty much everyone else, because right now
Mhm.
you're the only one has the access to the private information. They don't need background checks. The ones that do are like ones that show up probably more than 2 sessions.
Yeah.
So they're not like a guest speaker or anything. So, for example, if uh, Vernetta right now is expired, you want to go into her profile and order a background check, and her email that she put in the Brassville one, she'll get a link to complete the background check. So that goes for the same for mentors that have expired background checks, and then also ones that, okay, Andre really is a mentor that has been coming a lot, so that person needs a background check. So if I go to this one, I also said have a order background check for that. Um, and then there's also, sometimes it says open invitation right here, this one. So Matt was ordered a background check. So if I view it, uh, maybe spam or something again. So all you have to do is like copy the background check link and then email directly. So, and then usually it's 24 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours, the background check should clear, unless they lived in like multiple states, then it'll take a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, so that's really the only difference between the mentor student is the background check portion of it.
Yeah.
Um, so it's very similar. And then again, let's go ahead and, since we're here, I'll go ahead and help you do the active inactive. So this year we'll search. So it's only you two, but since the program wasn't really happening, we'll just go ahead and mark you guys inactive
Yeah.
and then apply. So boom, inactive, inactive. So this year you guys are good on in terms of like when we send the bill at the end of the year, you won't have anything to pay for because everyone was inactive.
Right.
And then I won't go too much in detail, but like you have access to affiliate profile. So this is where all your like important documents that I've been asking for live.
Gotcha.
Um, Board of directors, your 990s, state filings, all this stuff. Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And can
So
I can I can upload those things here.
absolutely. So if I go to, it's like board of directors, usually what we ask for it in, like every year, because board of directors usually changes. So if we
Mm-hmm.
manage, here's all the current ones, and you can add one, you can edit, you know, all that stuff.
Gotcha. Cool.
And then going back, affiliate profile. Yeah. So right now you can see what's the ones that are outstanding. We just did the 990, so that's current. So board of directors, there's a charitable, not applicable for you guys, I believe, because state of
Right.
Alabama doesn't require it.
That's right.
And then bylaws. I mean, we usually want to see like a review every 3 years, but if you
Mm.
say nothing changes, just let me know, and I guess, or what we really should do is have everyone sign, if even if it's the same thing, like have a re-ratified bylaws, and then we'll put one in, and then that will go away.
Do you see those things changing?
No, it's up to you guys. Like in terms of like, oh, do we want to change up term limits for board of
Mm-hmm.
directors? Usually that's what changes. Everything else
Gotcha.
stays the same. So if you guys don't think anything needs to change, just resubmit with a new date on it,
Right.
and we'll keep this for another 3 years, right?
Yep.
Um, so everything else looks current because again, Alabama doesn't require this. Um, so really, the board of directors. and the bylaws. So you guys are pretty good to go.
Yeah.
Um, and then managed, yeah, these are all good. And then let's just say you want to, I can do this, but if you wanted to do it yourself, because anyone that has full permissions can also give permissions like this type of access to anybody that you see fit, but they have to
Like
have a,
the next chair.
yeah, a next chair, or if you hire another affiliate staff
Yeah.
parts time. So if you manage users, you can sit search. So right now Kelsey was the one that had access to.
Right.
You say add new, and you can search who's available, right? But you have to
Okay.
make sure they have uh, make sure they have the background clear background check, because if you try to do one person that doesn't have one, it won't let you do it.
Yeah.
Um,
Makes sense.
and then you can give them different types of access. Most people just either have the full permissions or don't, but the bigger affiliates that have like hundreds of scholarship applications, maybe you want to do a just a scholarship reviewer access.
Okay.
um, so you can create user, and that person, Sarah Dunn, will now have the same access as you, right?
Yeah.
That's
Gotcha.
good. And then the scholarships, I don't know if you guys do the scholarships through the database.
I don't
um,
know if we've done that in the past or not, but that would be a good place to that would be good to set up. Yeah.
yeah, so I'll show you this really quickly. So I
Mm-hmm.
can go view scholarships. So these are scholarships that are like national. So
Mm-hmm.
you can do local and you can do national. You can see all of them. But you say here, create new scholarship. And then there's all these different categories, right? Basic education, honor. So if you go through this, you'll see like what you want to require in the application. So you can check these off and on. And education, like if you want SAT scores, blah, blah, blah. Activities, if you want to do any of this. Essay questions, you can actually do your own. But here are like the default ones.
Yeah.
Um, so what's great about this is it's all an online process.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah. And then any recommendations from mentors. Some people use this, some people just, if you guys are small enough, the mentors can just talk about the students. They don't need to, because this is another layer that the mentors are going to have to like write the recommendation, and then they have to upload it. So
Yeah.
most of the time it's just like a phone call or a Zoom chat with the mentors, and you know which students deserve the scholarships.
Right. Another good tool here might just be like a survey type, like a form for the for them to where they don't have to upload anything. Everything's just right there. They answer some pre-scripted questions and
Yes,
that,
exactly.
you
That's,
know,
so you go through here, and then the great thing is once you do it once, I believe what can happen is like it'll show up like Ace Birmingham 2001 2002 scholarship. Obviously name it so that you know which year it was, and well, it also shows up on the program year. But
mhm.
basically, let's just say you do it for next year. The year after, I think you can duplicate the one that you did that first time, and you don't have to redo it,
Yeah, nice.
which is nice. Or you can change it up, refine it after you do it 1 year, and say, "Oh, we don't really need this. I'll just change one thing up and then redo it." Um, the other big thing with this is there's a publish date and then the close date. So when you want to have the students be able to see it
Hmm.
on their profile, because when they sign in, they'll have like a scholarship thing that shows up, and then a close date, like the deadline for it.
And these the affiliate scholarships only show up to the students that are registered to that affiliate.
Yes, and I believe they have to be active too.
Right. That makes sense.
Yep. And then usually what happens is, if it's do you guys only do the seniors scholarships or
Yeah, only seniors.
okay, that yeah, I like that because it makes it a lot easier. Then
Hmm.
uh, you can filter at the end when you get all the applications. You can filter. Sometimes people get through that aren't seniors, but
Hmm.
you'll know it immediately because the database knows if they're seniors.